Five, four, three, two, one. Hello again. Welcome to another episode of the Bowtie Kid Show. This is a previous episode that I have messed up, and I am re-recording it with Mr. Patrick Bowen. Mr. Patrick Bowen, why don't you introduce yourself to us?
Good evening, Bo. This is Patrick Bowen joining, and just appreciate you having me on your podcast tonight.
Oh, you're always welcome. You're always welcome.
No, thank you.
Oh no, not at all. But basically, what we're going to talk about, like what we talked about last time. So we talked about what Georgia's odds are for making the national championship, and what are the odds of other people playing Georgia, basically. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I guess just to open up and kind of visit that first topic. I think when you take a look at the four teams that have made it into the hunt this year, I think Georgia's got the best chance of them all to win the whole thing. I do think that they got a little bit unlucky in drawing Ohio State first. I think of the three other teams in the playoff this year. That's probably the toughest matchup for them. But I'm confident they'll be ready and they'll take care of business.
I mean, if we did have to play, we are playing Ohio State, but what are your odds on us winning?
Oh no, I feel confident that Georgia will win against Ohio State, and then take care of whoever they would play in the next game. But I think just looking at the first.
If we did have to play, we are playing Ohio State.
I think the areas where Georgia's got some real advantages is one. They played in it last year. They won the whole thing. They've kind of been through this. Ohio State was not in the playoffs last year, so it's going to be a little bit new for some of those guys. And then two, if you just watch how Georgia plays football versus how Ohio State plays, at least to this point, and it could change, but Georgia's just a much more physical football team than Ohio State. I think the way Georgia plays defense, the way they tackle, the way they hit, the way they don't miss assignments. I just think that's going to be frustrating for Ohio State. I think Ohio State's immensely talented, but at least against Michigan, looked like Michigan, from a physical standpoint, dominated them. And so, unless something has changed between that game and when they meet New Year's Eve, I like Georgia's chances in being, the more physical team.
I could agree more. I could agree more on all the stuff you said. But the Michigan Ohio State game. That was the game everyone was looking forward to. During the season, during when the season was going on. And it turned out that Ohio State actually lost. And the odds of us, I don't think the odds, but what are the odds of you think that TCU would beat Michigan? What are your odds on that?
I probably don't feel as strongly about this, but I do think Michigan will win that game. I think TCU has just played great this year. I think they've got a great coach. Obviously they've got a great quarterback.
Especially for a small school.
What's that?
Especially for a small school.
Yeah, and I watched didn't watch TCU play that much this year, but a couple of their games during the regular season, and then I watched most of that game they actually lost in their championship game, but I think they've got a great quarterback. He's a real gamer. I think they'll be ready for Michigan. I just, at the end of the day, think Michigan's just too big and strong up front, and they may not blow them out, but I just think over the course of the four quarters, Michigan will find a way to win the game.
I don't know what the TCU Michigan game is going to look like, but I can for sure you that Georgia's going to go all the way over to the national championship with Michigan next to them, beat Michigan, and take another championship back to back with undefeated.
I like our chances. Like I said, I think they got to be really focused against Ohio State because while I think Georgia's a better team than Ohio State does do some things well. They've got that Stroud's a great quarterback. He's accurate downfield. He's got a good arm. They've got some receivers that can make big plays, and that's just that one part of Georgia's defense that at times can be, a little bit vulnerable when they get out there in man coverage. If the other team's got a quarterback with a big arm.
Yeah. What are your odds on the guy that won Heisman? Like, what are your thoughts on him?
Well, I watched, I guess, maybe 2 or 3 games that USC played this year. I watched them play part of the UCLA game, most of the Notre Dame game, and then most of that game they lost this last time to Utah. And he's great. I mean, he's a great athlete. He's a great quarterback. Probably, I know he won the Heisman last night. And, if you're just going on pure talent and who looks to be the best guy on the field, it's him. So I think, I don't think they made a mistake last night. I was pulling for Stetson, but if as far as I've seen this year, when he's on the field, Caleb Williams, that is, he's always the best guy on the field.
I don't know how Caleb Williams plays, but I've seen. Did he get injured during the Utah game? I think.
He did. I think towards the end he might have pulled a hamstring.
Yeah.
But it was, pretty well.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, he played great, but he played great. I mean, I don't know when he got injured, but he's got something in him, like, for the pros. If you were going to go to the pros, I think he's got something developed for his future.
Oh yeah, no, I think he'd do great when he gets there. Like I said, he's got a really good arm. He runs well. Got great spatial awareness. So for the way the modern NFL quarterback is, he's definitely got all the tools.
You're for sure right. But I don't know why Stetson didn't get it. He has more stats than that guy. I think, if I'm not correct. Am I?
I don't know. I guess it would depend on which statistics you looked at. I think Stetson's just had a great year and a great career, and I think it was great that he was invited to be there. I thought that was really cool.
And got to tour New York City with all those other guys.
Yeah, and like I said, it's hard to argue though that when Williams is on the field, and again, I don't know all the parameters and what all they use to vote on it, but I just think, of the 4 that were there, Williams is the most dominant when he's on the field. Now, that said, I think if you look at other attributes like leadership and perseverance and overcoming odds and all that, Stetson's a winner in that book for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But let's see. What did you think of performance in the season? Like UGA's performance during our season led us up to this moment that we're going to play Ohio State.
No, I think first of all, I think Georgia is an extremely well coached team. I think that's from the head all the way down. They're just very well coached, and I think one thing that I've noticed this year that the UGA coaching staff seems to be doing better than anybody else in the country is they've got those guys on the team all bought into the concept of team. They just work very hard. They're very disciplined. They don't try to hog the spotlight. They're very team oriented. And I think that combined with the amount of talent they have, they're going to be really hard for somebody to beat. He's got them clicking. So, I just think that being a team-oriented style, being as tough as they are, and just being smart football players, I like our chances.
Yes, Kirby will have them ready. No matter what, you will have them ready for anything.
Yeah, they'll be ready for sure.
They will. Yeah. All right, this brings us to our concluding question. What do you think the final score of the Georgia game will be?
Oh goodness, I hate to make a score prediction this far out in advance, but if I have to say that, I would think I'll go Georgia 37, Ohio State 24.
37-24. Oh, you see, you got a tight game in you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be one of those games where, Georgia will be in control of the game. There might be a few moments here and there where it gets a little scary, but I don't expect Ohio State to just, get rolled like they did against Michigan. I just like to think they're going to come in and, be more ready at this time than they seem to be against Michigan. But that said, I think Georgia's just too big, too strong, too powerful, and will win by more than one score.
And I could agree. I could agree more. I could agree more. But is there any social media platforms you would like me to reach? You would like to throw out there for YouTube or anything like social media wise?
I appreciate the ask. I tell you what, on if you invite me back after the bowl games and playoffs to do a recap, I'll be ready to fire all that off then.
I'll see what I can do. But yeah, I want to make a shout out to Patrick Bowen, and I want to make a shout out to me, Bowtie to the Games. If you're not already out there, subscribe, hit that like button, smash the notifications button. Bowtie to the Games, signing off. You have a good day, Mr. Patrick Bowen.
Thanks, Bo. Appreciate you having me.
No problem. Always a pleasure. Go Dogs.